These challenges, in our opinion, seem to have overwhelmed our security institutions.
The governors are supposed to be the state security officers of their state.
There is need for us to at least engage the traditional rulers.
We need to do something about our porous borders.
We have to own it from the unit level to the ward level to the local government to state.
Mr. President, the importance of today for us is for us to take action.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Inside the Senate. I am Hussaina Abina Abuki, your anchor. The Senate is still on recess from plenary, but its committees are still working. The Senate Committee on Special Duties was on oversight to NEMA last week. Details of that meeting are contained in this package. We will also continue with our review of major interventions by the Senate through bills and other legislative means. This time, our focus on this episode of the program is on Senate's intervention in the area of establishing specialized tertiary institutions in Nigeria. Join me after the break for details.
The Senate will send a message to the President
to reap opportunities from that.
To raise a matter of urgent public importance. And we are aware that when this particular motion comes up
for a longer term development, arise to second the motion.
Those in favor of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Welcome back. The Senate President Ahmad Lawan has stressed on the need for the establishment of a commission that would handle electoral offences in Nigeria. He made the submission at a one-day public hearing organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Electoral Matters to consider the Electoral Offences Commission Establishment Bill 2022 on Tuesday, the 23rd of August 2022. He was represented at the hearing by the Chairman, Senate Committee on INEC, Senator Kabiru Ibrahim Gaya.
The National Assembly deemed it necessary to unbundle and not overburden the Indian National Electoral Commission (INEC) by consolidating the passage of Electoral Act 2022 with the enactment of the Act of Parliament that will address free and post-election violence. The passage of the Electoral Offences Commission Bill 2022 by the Senate is a testimony of our intent to prepare the electoral process and electoral legal framework and improve the leadership recruitment process of our democracy.
The proposed commission, amongst other things, would investigate all offences and electoral crimes created in any law in Nigeria and prosecute offenders accordingly. Some of the highlights of the bill are proposals for a fine of 40 million naira for anyone found guilty of an electoral offence or a prison term of 20 years, as well as a fine of 10 million naira for any officer or executive of any association or political party that contravenes the provision of sections of the 1999 Constitution as amended, having to do with electoral matters, amongst other provisions. Senator Kabiru Gaya also spoke in his capacity as the Chairman, Senate Committee on INEC and Electoral Matters.
I believe since the Senate has passed the bill, it is now left for the House to do its own part, which later can be submitted to Mr. President to assent on this bill. And I hope and believe Mr. President will sign this bill for it to take effect.
Moving on to other stories now. The Senate Committee on Special Duties, chaired by Senator Yusuf Abubakar Yusuf, was on an oversight tour of the headquarters of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. This was also on Tuesday, the 23rd of August 2022. Let's have the report of the oversight compiled and presented from our studio.
Members of the committee were received on arrival by the agency's Deputy Director Operations, Mr. Idris Garga, on behalf of the Director General, Ahmad Mustafa Habib. Later in the conference room, the committee chairman, Senator Yusuf Abubakar Yusuf, spoke on the purpose of the visit.
We have come here, just to put our heads together, look at our faces, together, and then, ask ourselves questions whether, what we are doing, is right or is not right, and then what, the government, on the executive side, is doing, whether, is in tandem with the constitution that the National Assembly. Normally when we come, we we look at what you presented to us, and then we ask, a few questions for clarifications where they are, and then where they need to be clarified immediately, we do. If the clarification needs to come later, of course, we'll ask for further clarification.
Before, maybe you can have 3, 4, 5.
Responding, the Director General of NEMA lamented a sharp increase in various types of humanitarian and ecological crises across the country, adding that NEMA is doing the best it can to tackle the challenges with the meager resources allocated to them. He also advocated the full involvement of state governments so as to take emergency management to the grassroots level.
Before, maybe you can have 3, 4, 5 emergency in a day. Whenever disaster happens, the first person the state will call or the local governments will call is NEMA. Meanwhile, we all receive this ecological fund. We are overwhelmed. As of last week, we have over 255 towns have flooded. And I also advised each and every state, including the FCT, to set up local emergency management committee so that disaster management can be taken down to the grassroots. As we speak, only 4 states have local emergency management committee.
This was followed by comments and word of advice from committee members.
I feel there is need for collaboration, there is need for synergy between the agency and the state governments, because disaster risk management has to be a collective responsibility. And sometimes you also need enlightenment, sensitization, and education, because you cannot give out what you don't have. So at that level of the state and local governments, probably some lack, the experience, the knowledge, and even awareness. So I will urge the leadership of the agency to engage the state governments.
You have tried your best with the little amount you have given. I don't think under 2 billion will solve your problem. Even if they give you 200 billion, what will you use to buy the flood equipment? Government must seriously invest on NEMA.
We commend you for what you are doing. The problems of this country is too much. More so with the issues of global warming, the disasters are coming every single day. And the resources are not there for you to actually respond to these emergencies the way we should, regardless of the political party. We know the challenges you are facing. If these challenges are also existing, let us know so that we can also help you. Thank you.
Let's now take a short break for the notebook segment. Don't go away.
Sergeant-at-Arms are officers who provide security to parliaments across the world. In the Nigerian context, there are regular features in national and state legislatures who enforce all legislative protocols, among which is bearing the symbol of authority, the mace, to lead the Senate President and principal officers in a procession into the chamber at the commencement of each legislative day. Their security duties are complemented by the police, who in most cases are stationed within and at the entrance of the National Assembly. Unlike some climes where sergeant-at-arms bear arms, those in Nigeria do not.
Welcome back. The 9th Senate since inception has put up a lot of efforts to add value to the nation's educational system through not only passing legislations for the establishment of conventional tertiary institutions, but also specialized ones in different parts of the country, particularly at locations not in proximity with existing ones. In this edition of the program, we bring you a review of some of the bills considered by the Senate aimed at establishing the specialized tertiary educational institutions to address some of the requirements not covered by conventional institutions. Let's take this review as compiled and presented from our studio.
One such specialized institution is the Federal University of Science and Technology, Agulu, in Anambra State. A bill in this direction, sponsored by Senator Ute Ekunife, was presented for second reading on the 8th of December 2021. It was titled Federal University of Science, Technology and Innovation, Agulu, Anambra State Establishment Bill 2021. In her presentation, the sponsor lamented the shortage of technologically oriented universities in Nigeria. She said out of a total of 170 universities in Nigeria, only 21 offer courses in technological engineering. This, she said, is what the bill seeks to address.
The objectives of this university, when established, include, among others, to develop and offer both academic and practical programs, leading to the award of certificates, degrees, and postgraduate certificates in specialized areas of science, technology, and innovation.
After second reading, the bill was referred to the Committee on Tertiary Education and TED Fund to report back as soon as possible. Another institution for which a bill was presented for second reading was seeking the establishment of a Fisheries and Aquaculture Institute in Bakassi, Cross River State. It was titled A Bill for an Act to Establish the Nigerian Institute of Fisheries and Aquaculture, Bakassi 2021, and sponsored by Senator Gershom Bassi.
The establishment of the Nigeria Research Institute of Fisheries and Aquaculture in Bakassi, LGA of Cross River State, holds huge potential needed to boost food sufficiency in Nigeria. By 2030, it is estimated that 70% of all seafood produced for human consumption will come from aquaculture. Therefore, Nigeria needs to take the center stage in aquaculture research and development.
The bill enjoyed the support of a lawmaker.
The Bakassi people feel totally rejected and abandoned by the Nigerian state. I think it is important that we make them understand that they are truly still a part of this country, and that it is our duty and responsibility to protect them and make life better for them again. An institute like this will do a lot to open up the dynamics of their profession, of their livelihoods. New research will emerge, new ways and means will come, and their economy will be boosted.
The bill scaled second reading and was referred to the Committee on Agriculture to report back soonest. Another bill presented for consideration at second reading was that of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA College, Jos. It was titled Nigerian Television Authority, NTA College, Jos Establishment Bill 2022 and sponsored by Senator Estefanus D. Gyang. According to him, the college was established in 1980 and has produced over 30,000 journalists, television broadcasters and engineers, but without legislative backing.
The college has provided manpower to both public and private television and media stations, in addition to the numerous employment it has generated for individuals in professional photography and the film industry. The absence of an enabling law has hindered local and international collaboration and intervention over the years, hence this bill.
Senators who contributed were in support of the bill.
I remember the caliber of people that institution trained in this country today. If you take the statistics, you will discover that almost every member of the NTA before went through that. I joined the NTA in 1975, and during that period we were getting a lot of training from that institute.
Most of the journalists, the professionals that are trained from this college are in the leadership of the Nigerian Television Authority, namely the present Director General is an offspring of this very Nigerian television industry in Jos.
The bill was then read a second time and referred to the Committee on Information to report back in 4 weeks. Other specialized federal institutions whose establishment bill are at various stages of consideration include Federal University Health Sciences Establishment Bill, Azari, Bauchi State; Federal College of Education, Jama'ari Establishment Bill 2021; Federal College of Agriculture, Ise Orun, Ekiti State; Federal College of Medical Sciences, Gwadabawa, Sokoto State Establishment Bill; Federal University of Transportation, Daura, Katsina State Establishment Bill, as well as Federal Polytechnics, Shagamu, Ogun State Establishment Bill. As it were, the bills are still undergoing various legislative processes that will lead to their eventual passage, harmonization with the House of Representatives, and signing into law by the President.
Meanwhile, the Senate did not stop at passing bills for the establishment of new tertiary institutions alone. It went further to also review existence of agencies charged with the responsibility of supervising and enhancing educational development in Nigeria. This is with a view to resolving various challenges and impediments to achieving the purpose for which they were established. One of such organizations is the National Institute for Educational Planning and Administration, NEPA, Ondo. The institute, a sub-regional staff college, was conceived in 1992 by the federal government in collaboration with the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, and the International Institute for Educational Planning, IIEP. Even while being the only capacity-building outfit for education sector planners in Nigeria and in the West African sub-region, as well as its success in conducting over 310 training activities for a total of 104,000 participants as of July 2019, the institute has been operating without an enabling law that would strengthen and entrench its core mandates, some of which are developing a critical mass of education sector planners and managers for the effective and efficient planning and management of the educational system, as well as capacity building, and continuous training of education managers, consulting research, information dissemination alongside provision of resource center services, amongst other things. It was in the light of this that a bill titled National Institute for Educational Planning and Administration Establishment Bill 2022 was sponsored by Senator Ayo Akinyelure and presented for second reading on Tuesday, the 15th of February 2022. One debate was taken in support of the bill.
An institute like this could not have operated for 30 years, and yet is under the office of the head of service of the Federation. So it doesn't make really good sense.
Consequently, the bill scaled second reading and was referred to the Committee on Tet Fund to report back as soon as possible. In a similar development, on Tuesday the 11th of May 2022, the National Senior Secondary Education Commission Establishment Act 2004, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2022 was presented for third reading. The then leader of the Senate, Senator Yahya Abdullahi, presented the report of the Committee on Basic and Secondary Education, which worked on the bill.
This bill seeks to, among other things, one, amend the Act by restricting the scope of the Commission to the senior secondary school only, hence the name National Senior Secondary School Education Commission, taking into consideration the fact that the Universal Basic Education Commission is responsible for regulating junior primary and junior secondary basic level. 2, provide an estimated amount of 2% to be provided from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation and other sources of funds for the Intervention Fund. Please see Section 22, particularly subsection A of the bill.
The secondary education is the key to further educational qualification by our children. And I think having an agency, in this case a commission, to properly look at this will do this country a very, very good deal of work. Mr. President, I guess it is because of this gap that we ended up having secondary education not having history on its curriculum, which this Hello Chamber actually looked at and recommended that history should be returned back to our curriculum for WAEC and the like.
When signed into law by the President, the Commission would, amongst other things, be mandated to formulate policy guidelines for the operation of senior secondary education in Nigeria, prescribe and enforce the national minimum standards for senior secondary education program in Nigeria, present programs and reports on the implementation of senior secondary education in Nigeria to the President through the Minister of Education, identify interventions in the provision of senior secondary education facilities in Nigeria, as well as manage the National Senior Secondary Education Commission Fund. Meanwhile, Senate President Ahmad Lawan has appealed for a speedy and amicable resolution of the ongoing negotiations between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities (ASU) to ensure that the nation's universities resume for learning and research. Senator Ahmad Lawan made the appeal in a statement signed by his special advisor on media, Mr. Ola Awoniyi, to commemorate Workers' Day marked all over the world on the 1st of May every year. He added that the National Assembly would continue to partner with organized labor in addressing issues that affect workers in particular and Nigerians in general. Those were some highlights from Senate plenary before the ongoing recess. Our profile segment is next. Stay tuned for our Senator of the Week.
Senator Jaribe Agom Jaribe represents Cross River North Senatorial District on the platform of the PDP. He was born in Ogoja local government area of Cross River State on the 9th of December 1970. Senator Jaribe attended the School of Basic Studies Port Harcourt in River State, where he obtained his West African School Certificate WASC in 1990. He also earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Chemistry from the University of Calabar, Cross River State in 2004. He was Managing Director of Larger Enterprises Limited. He joined politics and served as an executive committee member of the PDP in Cross River State. He also served as a member of the Shopi Committee in the state. He contested and won election as an honorable member of the House of Representatives, where he represented Ogoja Yala Federal Constituency and served 2 terms from 2015 to 2019, as well as from 2019 to when he contested to the Senate to fill the vacancy created by the demise of Senator Rose Oko on the 23rd of March 2020. He was denied victory in that election. As a result, he contested to the Supreme Court, which eventually ruled in his favor, and was sworn in on the 15th of September 2021 to represent Cross River North Senatorial District of Cross River State. Senator Jaribe is a member of several committees of the Senate. His legislative interests include oil and gas development, financial accountability, education, as well as human resources development.
This brings us to the end of this week's edition of Inside the Senate. Join us next week for another edition, and don't forget to communicate your questions and any opinions via any of our feedback channels. See you next time, and thanks for watching.